Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Happy New Year, happy holiday, and welcome, Kevin Chandler, Loving Vibrations, to the show.
No, thanks, Susan. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
It's
Always
all
good to be
good.
here,
We made
Susan.
it.
It's always a lot of fun, and I know a lot of our subscribers really enjoy our shows. So
Yeah, I enjoy our shows. I mean, heck, we do it for us, Kevin. Come on. we just use it as an excuse to hang out and talk politics.
Right. I swear, every time we do a show together, everybody's like, "Please do a weekly show." It's like I can't right now. I can't, but I would love it.
We're a little bit overextended, and I have been on vacation, so I'm back.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm entering 2024 tonight. I feel like I've been on vacation until today.
So it got real today.
What's that?
2024 got real today.
It got real. It got real today. That's what happened. Like, get back to work, Susan. Oh, darn. Okay. Yes, it's so good to see everybody. Thanks, y'all, for joining us. Yeah. Put your questions in the chat. Now, I'll be honest with you, I really was on vacation. I did not look at the news. I know Kevin had a full house and he was doing the holiday thing for both everybody's family. So we're not so well versed on the politics. We were just chatting. If you haven't seen the clip, watch the clip where Fox News brings on a tarot reader and does a card pull for Trump on Fox News Live.
Yes.
And tell us, Kevin, the card she pulled.
She pulled the Five of Cups, which is about grief and loss and sadness and crying over spilt milk. And Biden got the Nine of Pentacles, which is reaping the rewards of all of your hard work, sitting back, sitting pretty, abundance. So that was hilarious.
You cannot make this stuff up. Jesse Waters, was that the guy? He goes, "Oh my God, it's the Grim Reaper," because to him it looked like the Grim Reaper. I'm like, I'll go with that interpretation, Jesse. That sounds good.
Some of us have felt like Trump might not be around come election time.
Some of us have felt like that.
Yeah. Not wishing it, but
no, we're not trying to be in spiritual detention any more than we already are. Or me. I don't know about you guys, but
how weird is it that they actually had a reader on? Like, that's shocking enough.
And I feel like this is where we're going, right? With whatever that astrological thing is, we're going to be going into like big time psychic astrology awareness. The supernatural is going to have a bigger world stage. So they got the memo. You got to give them credit. They got the memo. They got the psychic on there, and they got their butts handed to them. The spirit said, "Hey, we'll be helping you out with those cards."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it really happened on Fox News. I have half a mind to play the video live while we're here, but you can just Google it. It's pretty easy to find. Cindy P said she saw some backlash calling it witchcraft. Well, of course they're going to call it witchcraft. Their guy got the Grim Reaper, which is now a new tarot meaning for that card. So that was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
I'm with you though too, Susan, as we're getting into 2024 and even the last couple of years, this big collective shift and awareness coming in is really enhancing a lot of that intuitive abilities. It's a bit draining too, and we're seeing it with a lot of like the solar flare activities as kind of that energetic pickup, but so it's a bit overwhelming, but yeah, a lot of that insight is getting a lot stronger for us light workers right now.
Yeah. And I don't know, if you guys don't know Kevin, I mean, I don't know how you could not know him, but this man is amazing. He's an amazing energy healer. He's an amazing psychic tarot reader. He's great at politics. So check out his channel, you guys. Kevin's Loving Vibrations. It's right there on there. But I'm called to just say this really quickly because you mentioned these solar flares, and this is no joke, you guys. The solar flares, especially if you're a little bit more of a sensitive person to them, they can take you offline. I mean, they can make you feel disoriented. I mean, you can have all kind of real physical sense. Even your pets can experience issues with these solar flares. I think there's a website called Astro Weather. Maybe if you Google that, you can find out when the solar flares are happening. But I'm just going to tell you guys, find your favorite energy healer and hit them up. Get
No.
tuned up, get your chakras tuned up, get your energy tuned up, because then you'll have a really nice, strong kind of aura so that
Mm,
when this stuff comes, I'm not saying it's not going to affect you, but I'm saying you're going to do better. You're going to be able to withstand it better. So my
yeah.
guy, one of my people there's lots of great healers. I love all my healers, but I'm here with Kevin. Check Kevin out. He's
Thanks,
great.
Susan. Yeah, and it's all when you get like a Reiki session or a bit of a tune-up, it's lightening up your energy and bringing in that peace and balance. And the energy coming in is really intense, but it's very high vibrational too. So when you're more of a compatible match, it's not quite as draining. But even for myself, and I do a lot of self Reiki, and I'm a Reiki master, but for myself, it's very depleting too, or having a hard time
Oh,
sleeping at night too. So
Yeah, that's another thing.
it
Trouble
does help.
sleeping, overthinking, or even me lately. I don't know what's going on in the world, but I've been having that empathic sense of doom, that
Mm,
empathic sense of, this place is going to hell in a handbasket. And hey, Touch My Thrill is here. Hey girl. So anyway, do what you can, guys. Don't just be at the mercy of this energy. Take care of yourself. Okay,
mm.
take care of yourself. Yes, tonight is political. We just went off sideways because like I said, I'm just back in the saddle. I'm riding, I'm kind of tilted over a little bit. I'll get it
It's all,
together here.
it's
So
all good, Susan.
we are doing
All good.
political readings, but I always try to slip in a little self-care and a little
Yeah.
spiritual in there, so we had
It,
to do it.
it's going to be so important in 2024. And I got
It's,
a really strong
y'all,
message.
let's
Um,
talk about that, right? Like, so the
yeah,
political thing, right? Like, I see Trump going down, I see Bannon going down, I see all these people going down, but I also feel like there's going to be some issues on our side. Like, we've got Menendez who needs to
mm,
go, but I just feel like there's going to be some issues on. It's not going to be a clear, clean energy. It's going to take anybody out that gets sideways, that's done anything that maybe they shouldn't have.
yeah.
So it's going to be a little messy, in my
Mhm.
opinion. So that's another reason why to just really take good care of yourself.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit chaotic at times too.
That's
Um,
that's it.
it's all part of this shifting and unearthing things that have been secret or in the dark, and it's coming to the surface and illuminating. So it's never easy when we experience that, and it's going to continue into 2024. But the message I got really strongly from my guides is just be very mindful of the energy that you're sitting in, because 2024 is going to be a really powerful year to kind of manifest your dreams and desires into reality. And so if we're sitting in the fear and doom and gloom and watching the news and oh my gosh, Trump's going to win and get all all freaked out, we're going to manifest more energy that's going to continue to kind of bring us down. It's going to bring
Yeah.
even more fear, doom and gloom. And so it's really important to do that self care, like you were talking about, going outside, connecting with nature, breathing in fresh air,
Yeah.
doing things that just lighten up your energy, laughing, spending times with friends and family, or, reflecting on happy memories. All of those things are going to be so important to keep us focused for 2024.
Yeah, just like Rabia says, it's going to get wonky, and
Mm,
we can't keep the world. The world actors are going to be doing crazy things.
yeah.
We've got a little bit. Let me ask you a question.
Mm,
You may not even have heard this, and I think I just basically heard it recently.
okay.
So, we have this thing in the Red Sea. We have this thing with now there's shipping companies who are saying, we're not even going to go there. We're not even going to go through this area. Therefore, now we're going to have increased cost, potentially even in gasoline, but certainly in goods and services that would
Mm,
be, transferring through there. And then we have the Houthis, the Iranians are shooting at our ships, our military ships. Our military ships are shooting down drones.
yeah.
What do you think? How do you think this is? What's your sense for this? Is this going to blow up? Is this going to be a really big thing, or do you have a sense for it?
I do feel, and I know that you haven't done your 2024 predictions yet. I'm
Not
still
yet.
working on it too. But from what I was picking up, I do feel like there's a little bit of escalation between the US and Iran. I don't feel like it turns into a full blown war, but I do feel like maybe a ship gets blown up or something that's really kind of escalating it and kind of getting us close to that point. But I do feel like it's going to be stabilized before we kind of go over the edge, and get into a world war. I don't see that, but
Mm-mm.
it it and this is globally too. A lot of countries like kind of escalating attacks and stuff. China and Taiwan, I think that's going to be escalated. I don't see that turning into a war. Um, it's going to be kind of globally, is what I'm picking up.
Yeah. So really testing. It's almost like
Mm,
testing the resolve
yeah.
of certain countries to not just lose their temper and, do something maybe egregious or maybe something we all
Hmm.
regret. I totally agree with you. And let me know what you think about this, because I keep getting this sense that there's going to be this backdoor agreement. And I mean really backdoor, like
Hmm.
really shrouded agreement that Biden is going to go to some of these countries, and it could be some countries in the Middle East, obviously not Iran, but potentially even Turkey. Turkey's a player in this.
Hmm.
Turkey is right now is playing kind of almost both sides, not exactly, but they're doing enough
Yeah.
that they're kind of showing, will what you got. Maybe I'll make a deal with you if the deal is good enough. That's
Hmm.
where I think where Biden is going to go in with his statesmanship, and he's going
Yeah.
to say, look, nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. This is going to ruin your economy. It's going to, blah blah blah. And I feel like some kind of backroom deal is going to be made so that Iran is put on ice,
Mm.
Russia's put on ice, and that's not from the states. That comes from perhaps even Turkey,
Diplomatic.
Erdogan. It could be
Agreed.
coming
Yeah.
from a country that would be more likely to do something that the United States wouldn't.
Even India too. I feel like there's energy
Even
around us.
India. Yes.
Um, and I was picking that up. I know that I I don't know if they're technically our ally or not, but I did feel like a lot of work with India in 2024 between the U.S. And
They
getting those
weren't.
relationships better. But
Yeah.
I did hear too. I think that India was just talking to Putin, and I think they're giving them oil or buying
Yeah.
oil. But I do
Yeah.
kind of see like a flip around with that too.
I think so too, because I think what Biden is doing is he's walking around with this big pocketbook called United States money. And
Mm,
like India could get quite a bit of our money if they would just be a better citizen, if they would just be a better world citizen. So I think that's going to talk. I think money is going to talk and BS is going to walk. And I
mhm.
think Biden is shopping. He's saying, hey, China can be put on ice for a minute. I'm going to go over
Mm.
here and see what these other countries, if they want a contract.
Yeah,
That's a big
that's
deal.
exactly it, Susan. Because I feel like we're kind of walking away from China in our relationship and getting more trade deals with India.
That's right. And frankly, anybody, Biden will sit
Mhm.
down with anybody. And I think even potentially Turkey. This is where I get squeamish, right? Because I want to stick to my morals and my principles. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to lie down with dogs and get fleas to get
Mm,
something done that you can't get done. And if that means bringing peace to the Middle East, then I think is worth it.
yeah, it's going to be a. I do see the Israel, um, Gaza, Hamas situation kind of expanding a little bit. I know that there's
Expanding in a bad way.
I see it getting a little bit worse before it gets better. Um, was it Lebanon? Is that where there's been some activity too? Um, so I feel like it kind of growing, but I don't see it turning into a huge world conflict or where the
That's
U.S.
correct.
is really kind of getting involved. It's like the U.S. is kind of coming in and overseeing and trying to support Israel. Um, but like I said, I do feel like Iran kind of escalating things there too. But I feel like it's going to be all okay. I feel like once Netanyahu's out of the picture, I kind
Yes.
of feel like a female energy coming in,
You
and
really?
mhm, and when he's out, there's going to be talks about a two-state solution for that.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
agree.
later on in this year, like fall.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Yep. Fall. And I've seen it. Look, when this thing first blew up, the very first hours of it, the guide said there will be a 2-state solution. It's the only thing that's going to happen. And the Arab states are going to have to get in and support that and be supportive of a new government. And Israel, it's just going to have to work itself out. This is one piece of land. It's going to have to be separated. And none of this is going to be easy. None of it's going to be easy. But I agree with you. I think it's going to get a little bit worse. Yeah. But I think I think Netanyahu is going to be gone. I think you're going to have a coalition government. I didn't even look to see if it was a male or a female. So that's fascinating that it could be a female. I think this is a real opportunity. Too. I'm sorry?
It feels like a younger female too.
Wonderful. I mean, I think this is an opportunity for some real change here, right? I think Hamas has been, they just struck Hamas, one of the leaders. I think Hamas is on the run. I think they've really been pushed out of that area. And I think this is a real opportunity, but there's a vacuum and nature abhors a vacuum. So we need to bring we need to bring a government in. Somebody needs to bring a government in that can be a government that can meet with the Israelis and really have good faith, negotiations. Yeah. And then I'm going to ask this question because I see this question off and on. Lori wants to know, when will food for the animals and birds be allowed to enter Gaza? No food for animals and birds have been allowed to enter since October 9th. I know Look, I'm an animal lover. I happen to be a person, frankly, who likes animals more than people. So I get it. However, I'm just going to tell you that most humanity likes people more. So they're going to be focused on bringing food for humans. And I know humans are good humans and they're going to share their food with the animals. I don't know that I see specific. I mean, I see very limited and sporadic food for animals. Limited and sporadic food. If you have one truck, are you going to put baby medicine, baby food, baby diapers? Are you going to put human medicine and human food? I'm sorry. This is just what I see. So I feel like the food is going to be sporadic, but I also feel like the humans that live there will help those animals survive.
Yeah. It's horrible what's going on over there for the people and for the animals.
It's horrible.
I mean, literally that place is going to be in ruins after they're done.
Yeah. It's horrible. And it's horrible what the Israelis went through. And it's horrible what the Israelis are going through here in America. And it's horrible what it's meant to divide us, you guys. So before you jump on a bandwagon and point somebody out and say that person is the devil, just remember, this is meant to divide us. The more we divide ourselves, the more they win. The more we try to reach out and make friends with the other side, Palestinians are not Hamas. Okay. This is not like Russia and Ukraine, in my opinion. It's just not. Palestinians in America are not Hamas. But we have America, we have Hamas people protesting pro-Hamas. But I would just like to remind you that during World War II, some of our Congress members were Nazis.
Yeah.
And, this is the United States of America. It's free speech. So it's horrible. Yes. But this is kind of the patchwork quilt thing we got going here. So,
yeah.
Okay. So basically the animals are going to be okay. I'm praying for everybody. I'm praying for peace is what I'm praying for.
Absolutely.
So let's move on. Any other questions? Are you picking up anything recently about, so the thing that I saw, the guides are showing me, I did see a video of New Year's Eve night at Mar-a-Lago with y'all, seriously. Kid Rock.
I heard about it.
Not Kid Rock. What was his name? Ice Baby Dude. What is his name?
Ice, yeah.
And the Ninja Turtle, y'all. They had a whole real Ninja Turtle on the stage. This was high dollar entertainment. But anyway, my point is that Trump was not doing his accordion dance. He wasn't dancing. He was standing there looking all PO'd. So I'm just thinking that
He's starting to get scared.
He's starting to understand that this is his last New Year's Eve
Right.
in freedom.
Yeah.
He's really
Absolutely.
starting to get it.
I think all of the pressures and it's like all the impeding court cases um and even like the filings and all of that, it's just all starting to really overwhelm him. And I heard too, I didn't see the video, but I'd heard what you're talking
Ninja
about.
Turtle, y'all.
I heard he was even kind of like stumbling and like kind of pacing back and forth, like he didn't have really good balance. Yeah, all of the legal stress is really and the campaign stress is really going to affect his health this year.
That's right. That's right. I mean, he just can't handle this kind of, whereas I think he's the kind of person that really flourishes in mayhem and chaos. This is too much. He really, for the first time in his whole life, realizes he's probably going to be on the outs. I mean, he's on the outs.
And he's really scared too. I think because there's always been an element of denialism with him, like I'm going to get through this and I'm going to become president and all of these charges are going to go away. But I did start to feel like the fear in him kind of seeing things change when they started taking his name off ballots.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's going to be kind of hard to get to that magic number when you're not even on the ballot. Alan Johnson's in the house. Woo whoop. Hey, Alan. Yeah. So, Kelly. Wait a minute. I think the Teletubbies were gay. That's why they didn't have them. But didn't you get that memo? The one of the Teletubbies was gay. So that's completely off the thing.
They have Teletubbies in the back serving hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There is absolutely no telling what was really happening there. Okay, Mystic Wanderer has a question for us. All right. We're finally getting down to business, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mystic Wanderer, thanks so much. Will Clarence recuse himself regarding the Trump cases? I don't see that happening. He doesn't. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know what Kevin's getting, but in my opinion, he doesn't care if he's the lone, if he's the lone dissenter or the lone pro-Trumper. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He really, when I go into his energy just right now, he really feels like he's for life. You know what I mean? Like I'm untouchable. There's nothing anybody can do to me. And now it's time for me to just play my cards. Like, because I want to prove that I'm untouchable, right? That I want you guys to know, no matter what you get on me, I'm not stepping down.
Yeah, he has a bit of an arrogance where he just doesn't care and he's really got nothing to lose. It's like, even too, I do see him stepping down this year from the Supreme Court, but I feel like it's more health related, and there's going to be a continued more added stress with all of the dark money stuff coming out. But I mean, unless he's like physically ill and can't do the job, he's not stepping down. So I think the health is really going to start to pressure him this year.
Do you, Scully? Whoops, sorry, the chat just jumped ahead. It's kind of like pinning the tail on the donkey. Do you feel like some people think that Jenny's health is going to decline and that's going to cause him to step down? But I'm telling you, I don't think this man has real blood flowing through his blood. I think
He doesn't have moral. He doesn't care.
I don't think he cares about his wife. And obviously, I think that the Federalist Society, whoever allegedly is funding him, has already said, look, dude, you got to step down. You're causing us problems. Investigative reporters are all up in our business. He said, forget it. I'm not doing it. So I think there is something that causes him to step down. There is, jail time would be it. I mean, what I just saw was potential jail time.
Oh, interesting. Excuse me. I threw some cards on it for Clarence, and I do feel like the secrets are being exposed. There's light being shed to everything that's been kept in the dark. That continuing to pressure, taking money, illegally. And I do feel pressure with the relationship too, because I do see Jenny getting in trouble for some January 6th stuff. But then it's like our wish is being fulfilled. We're jumping for joy because he's out of there. But I intuitively, I don't know if it feels like it's like solar plexus gut, like the liver or pancreas or something like that, feeling really kind of yucky and brown and black energy coming from there when I see him.
And I get like a like that. Is it Uranus that is the sudden, like the boom, like the I get this. It's a ruptured, or I mean, not. It could be like those, like the pancreas. It could be anything like that.
Yeah.
The bile duct, something like that. But it's not, in my opinion. It could be something he's ignoring. But what gets his attention and what gets the public's attention is a sudden emergency surgery,
Yeah.
That I don't know what we do with Supreme Court members that, I mean, do we give them time to convalesce and then
Yeah.
come back to the court?
Do you feel health problems for Ginny? I mean, obviously there's some mental health problems there, but intuitively I'm not picking up on any physical. Besides, I mean, she's a bit manic, and there's, like I said, mental health issues there.
Yeah. No, I don't.
It feels like
Not
it's his
sudden.
health
I
is
get
what I'm
him. I
picking
get
up.
sudden, really,
Yeah.
like bam, sudden.
Yeah, me too.
So that'll get his attention. And I really feel like I really feel like Jack Smith or somebody, there's a legal component to his stress. I feel like he's got aides or attorneys telling him, it's our best advice that you step down, that you're not going to be able to just sidestep this. This is real legal,
Yeah.
allegedly criminal situation, and you need to step down and really give it your full attention.
Got it. That makes
So
sense.
that with a health thing might do the trick. If you had to say a month, if you had to tune into a month, what might it be?
It's hard because I felt like it actually might have been at the end of
I know
last year.
He does not follow any energetic
I'm
direction.
picking up right now an M month, so March or May. Maybe May.
Really?
Feels like early summer.
A health event. I'm getting a health event early summer, but I think he might step down more like August. Isn't that what you just said earlier? Or no? Did you say that?
I don't think I said August. It's so hard because things kind of shift in time.
Yeah,
and a bit
especially
hard,
right now.
But I did feel him out before the next election.
Before the next election, that's
more
November.
Like summer, so August.
Okay. Okay. And did you guys have you guys seen this, that Gorsuch is under fire again? So this was back in, like, I don't know, several years ago. It was made public that he plagiarized some other articles and other professors, including a Republican person. And it just kind of didn't go anywhere. It was I think it might have been during Trump's reign. It just didn't go anywhere. Well, now it's coming back around, that, that energy of secrets being revealed, and maybe we have new energy or new eyes to look at this stuff. And now people are saying, no, this is plagiarism. I mean, he really should be brought, up on some sort of charges about this, right? I mean, so of course he says it's not, but I just think these truth, kind of like a pack of truth dogs, are chasing all of these people, and they're going to run them down. Whatever you got away with in 2015, 16, 18, or whoever win, we don't care. For some reason, now's the time. Your deadline is up. You are now going to be held accountable.
And they don't discriminate between Democrat or Republican. It will be both sides.
No.
Sorry if you hear my dogs going crazy upstairs. My husband just got home.
Oh my God. Wow. Yes, Justice is coming, and she's going to
Lady Justice, right there. You can't see her the best.
Oh, not yeah, I see it. Yeah, on your wall. Oh, nice. Yeah. So where is Melania? She wasn't there. I think you guys, for me, this makes perfect sense to me. Basically, in what I've seen, is she gets paid to be there. This is a deal that's been made. That's why there's Melania doubles. And I know there are, because I was a photographer, and I look at people's teeth in photos, and you can see the shape of the tooth is different. That's not the same person, right? So there are things she shows up for and things she doesn't. And it's about what she's paid to do or whether she wants to even be paid to do it.
Yeah.
I think Melania is here legally. She's married to Trump. I think she's here legally. But I think that once Trump goes, I see her taking, I don't know what you've ever seen with that, but I see her taking Barron and hitting the road. A while back, they told me she was husband shopping. So I see her hitting the road, going back to
Europe, I think.
Europe, Slovakia, Slovenia, someplace that might be more welcoming to her.
Yeah. I'll say though too, I agree. I feel like she's been checked out of that relationship. It's not really a relationship, it's an arrangement. So she does her wifely duties when she needs to. People have been asking where she was at. I almost felt like she was in New York, but her and Trump really don't spend a whole lot of time together.
No. And when you say wifely duties, what are you talking about? Are you talking about really wifely duties? I mean,
No.
I don't think he has that kind of money.
Right. Well, and the thing is that's when Trump starts losing his money, she's going to get her slice of the pie before he's penniless. So I almost feel like a split between them sometime this summer.
Really? Yeah.
I don't think
I could see that too. So when you say a split, you mean like a public split, like it's public.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think there's a whole lot of attention on it. I think it's going to be kind of quiet, but I do see attention coming out about it.
Okay. Here's a question for us. Thank you for your question, dear. Trump has requested and demanded SCOTUS put him back on the ballot in Colorado. Will they hear the case? Will SCOTUS hear the case? I was getting, what's that?
Go ahead, Susan.
I don't know that they're going to hear it. I'm not sure that that they're going to. The last time I read on this was before the holiday. I got a lot of arguing back and forth between the justices about whether they should do it or not. I didn't get even Roberts. Even the Republicans weren't 100% for this. What do you get about it?
I don't know if they take the case. I do kind of feel like they'll take the case. But I don't see them being successful with taking him off the ballot. Maybe for the primary, but not for the general election. But then it's interesting too, because it's the legal things that get him or the health issues, but I almost feel like he won't be around come voting time.
Yeah. See, it doesn't matter to me because he's not going to be around anyway.
I don't think it's because of the 14th Amendment taking him out. I think it's something else.
Right.
But, and I do see too, I feel a couple more states taking him off. Like I'm feeling like 4 in total, but I do see it being challenged. But I do see some of the southern red states trying to take Biden off the primary ballot too.
Yeah, I said that they're going to do it. It doesn't matter if it's legal. They don't care about the law. We already know that.
They're going to say that he wasn't charged. He doesn't have insurrection charges, and he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. That's going to be their argument. I'm not saying I agree with that.
For Trump?
For Trump,
right?
Because I'm not saying I agree with that. I get so much slack from people because it doesn't say that you have to be charged with insurrection. I'm just telling you what I'm intuiting.
I know. It's like I'm not in agreement myself, but this is what I got. I said exactly the same thing, and people were like, like I was like, okay, well, I don't care, whatever. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. I'm just the messenger.
Right.
So,
it's almost better that Trump is on the ballot though, because it's going to guarantee a sweep for Democrats in 2024.
Yeah. It's going to be a cluster flock, you guys. The bottom line is if Trump is on the ballot, not on the ballot, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a cluster flock because he's not going to be able to run. And then I tell you guys about the Energizer bunnies and them and all these Republicans running out of battery. They just like fall over. The battery is the money. The money falls over. DeSantis, no money. You're out. Yeah. Chris Christie, no money. You're out. I think they're betting on Nikki Haley, but and I think that she might be the one that kind of sort of is left standing. When I see her, she's surprised, like she's looking around like, where'd everybody go? I'm on the podium alone. but I still don't think she's going to be the final Republican. She's not. Everything in March, April, May, and we're all going to need to be taking some kind of medication because everything is going to go crazy, not just with the Republicans, but in general. And it's going to be chaos. Yeah. It's going to be like smoke, and then you don't know what happens until it settles.
I agree with you. I feel like two of the candidates dropping out within the next couple of weeks. I feel like Swami is going to drop out soon, but also DeSantis might stick in there for a while. I see Christie really not wanting to give up, but I think he will, and he'll end up endorsing Haley, but not be really happy about it. But so it feels like it's kind of Haley and Trump, but I see Trump getting more votes than Haley. But something takes him out, it feels like, around the convention time.
Do you see Haley being, I mean, listen, you guys, I'm trying to tell you, predicting what is going to happen in November, other than I see Biden winning and they're like, that is written, so stop asking me questions. Like, they're like when you ask your parent, are we there yet? And they finally say, stop asking me the question. That's how my spirit guides are. Like, stop. We will let you know if anything changes, Susan.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, great. But now from the Republican side, do you see Haley being the nominee?
No.
I don't either. And I can't see the nominee. Can you see the nominee?
No. It's very hard. Even in the Republican House, it's really hard to see things clearly.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that for a while because it almost felt like McCarthy wouldn't get in. And I think I was picking up on him being in there for a short time. There's so much chaos and it's kind of all over the place. And there's so many things that need to kind of take place. It's hard to see through all the muck. But in the meantime, it's going to be a shit show. So buckle up.
I mean, really and truly, just lots of like hard angles, like, not like a one, like, and then the energy goes, it's just really going to be whiplash-y. We see Biden winning. It's not a problem. There's a problem. There's a thing that Biden could step down before. I'm just telling you guys, there's a problem that Biden could step down and Kamala could take over. I've always said this. I've always seen this. I just don't know if it's next year or this year now. I don't know if it's this year or if it's after the election. So besides that,
I agree with that, Susan. But I do feel I can see Biden there too. So I think the more likely outcome is that Biden will be around and step down into a second term is what
I hope so.
More likely. Yeah.
It's hard. This is some serious hard stuff. Thanks everybody. Thanks Kelly. Thanks Karen. Thanks Liz, everybody for your super chats. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh my gosh. And artist, thank you too as well. I didn't realize Kevin had been busy starring things. I'm over here just going off.
I've been that's crazy. You have almost over 1,500 people watching, so I haven't got them all.
Oh my God. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We are talking politics with Kevin's Loving Vibration. If you haven't checked out his channel, please do so. He's amazing. He does political readings, but he also is an energy healer. So check out his channel. He does readings and healings as well. All right.
Real quick though, too, if it's okay, Susan. Even though the election's very murky to see kind of like what exactly is going to happen, I feel so positive about our future going into 2025 and 2026. I know that wouldn't be the case if Republicans did well or Republicans took one of the houses.
Right.
I actually see us getting things done, and part of Trump's journey or mission, what he was brought here to do, is to really have us reevaluate the shortcomings in our Constitution so that we can put in those rules and regulations to make it really strong so we don't have somebody like him again.
That's right. The Democrats are going to get in office. They're going to have 2 years to just really push through some legislation, take care of business. And I'm thinking too that the states are going to really come up against some real problems in the sense that a lot of these fake electors are going to get arrested. You're going to have people in higher level Republican statewide offices that are going to be indicted. They're going to be investigated. And that's going to put that's going to cool down this craziness that the states are doing. And then it's going to potentially, I just see a window of opportunity for us to do what Kevin just said, to really go through the Constitution and say, this is kind of 100 years old. Maybe the amendment is 100 years old. We really need to go back and tighten this up. Or we see where people like Trump really could have, screwed with our democracy. So I really feel like the Democrats are going to get in there. They're going to get things done. And I think there's going to be a window of opportunity within the states themselves to have buy-in.
You know what was interesting about that, though, too, Susan, is I do feel the Republican Party kind of fracturing and splitting in half. Like when Trump goes down, he's taking down the whole party with him. It feels like a civil war amongst the Republican Party where it literally fractures it in half. And you'll have some of them that want to cut the MAGA, the cancer, out of the party, and we'll actually see some bipartisanship. They will work hard to safeguard things too, so that they don't have somebody like Trump or an extremism in their party anymore.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I 100% agree. And so when you put all these things together, you guys, it creates a very unique environment for us to get things done that really need to be done. That really work on these, on getting a women's choice back, getting some new things around wages, new things around election and voting, getting some new things around race relations. These are going to be all the things on the Democrats' wish list. And I really think they're going to get them done. I really do.
Yeah. It's a progressive movement is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Like it's investing in those that need it and not the people that have all the wealth and power. They're going to be taxed, and that money that's going for taxes is really going to be invested into our country and into the people more fairly. It brings more balance. With the income inequality.
Yes. Thank you for your super chat. I cannot say your name. I think it's French, but I cannot say your name. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Linda, for yours as well. Yeah, I totally agree with you. So listen to what Kevin's saying, because I really want you guys, there's going to be a time, and of course we're going to be here on YouTube, right here with you, but there's going to be a time when it's going to be just like bang smoke everywhere. And we're going to feel uncertain. We're not going to feel, maybe we might lose faith. Don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. Kevin is an energy reader. I'm an energy reader. And we're both super honest. We would tell you if something bad is going to happen, we're going to be honest with you. We're going to tell you. And I think Kevin and I have a pretty good track record of being correct. So, and it's like the guide said, if something changes, they'll tell me and they'll tell Kevin, and we'll be here to help you understand whatever changes might be having.
Yeah. It's going to be uncomfortable in 2024 at times.
That's what I'm trying to get. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's really to kind of test us to keep the faith. That's why I said going into 2024, it's so important to just take care of ourselves, that self-care, but also doing those things that lift us up rather than bring us down. And you know what? All of the uncertainty and all of the turmoil that we've dealt with for the last several years, it's really an opportunity for us to grow, for us to learn, and for us to bring awareness to things that were hidden so that we can move past it and we can learn that lesson. Now, sometimes things have to be shooken up to really kind of wake you up a little bit. I mean, look with COVID, the world stopped. And then you saw all these people letting go of the things that are no longer serving them, people starting their own businesses or moving to areas that they wanted to, or getting out of relationships. It's all part of this shifting that we're kind of experiencing right now, but it ultimately will lead us to a much more brighter and better future.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just exactly what he said. Absolutely. Keep the faith, hold the light. I don't know if you remember when the guides said, hold the light. And it's hard. I don't even have to watch the news to know bad things are happening in the world. If you're empathic, all of a sudden a dark cloud comes over you. You're like, what is going on? I tell you guys, check yourself. Is this mine? No. Is it my house, my family? No. Is it my family? Call them. No, it's not yours. You're
Yeah.
just tuned into a bigger dark cloud.
Mm.
Then, because it's not yours, this is where we get in trouble, because we start to be, we start taking it on. It's not ours. And it's not going to help those people who belong to that dark cloud for us to get dark too. We need to hold their light. We need to hold their light so that when they're done with whatever it is they're going through, they can come out the tunnel and see the light. That's
Yeah.
us. They're seeing us. If we go dark, if we get sucked down into this muck, they're going to come out the tunnel and there's just not going to be as much light. So hold the light. Don't
Yeah.
hold the
So
darkness.
important, Susan. Yeah. And I know it's hard, but we have to do our best with letting go of judgment or wanting bad things to happen for people. It's not easy, but we really have to rise above it, because when we give them power over us to turn us into a dark place, we're just amplifying that heavy energy.
It's true.
And it's just further pulling us apart.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Dividing
at
us.
the end of the day, we're all connected. We're all one. So, so just try to. I know it's hard, but just try to have some compassion for some people.
Yeah. Thank you, Demi-Monde. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to ask you too. I've already seen it. Like in the last even 30 days, I've seen people that were Trumpers. I'm not saying they're not Trumpers anymore, but I'm saying they're talking more to their family. They're finding other things that they can have in common or talk about. They're not just die hard in this energy. They're more willing to go and not talk about it. They're more willing to go and talk about other commonalities. And I think that is also what we're going to see. We're going to see not everybody. There's going to be the Trumpers that are just going to, they're gone. They're just gone. They're missing. But there are other people who are going to slowly start to sort of warm up and be more normal, so to speak, again.
I don't know if it's normal, Susan, but I feel like with all of the stuff coming out for Trump, there's an embarrassment. There's a shame of supporting him, is what I'm feeling.
Yes,
more
that's
people are
right.
realizing, like, okay, maybe I drink the Kool-Aid a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe I still like Republicans and kind of like what he stands for, but I'm not going to be so vocal about it anymore because
it's embarrassing.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. Now, see, that's what I'm saying. Kevin and I can disagree with each other. He could say they're not going to be, you know what I mean? I love that. This is what we need.
It wasn't so much disagreeing, though. I think it was just a play on words.
But we do. But we can disagree. It's not the end of the world, right? It's we're trying to model that right here. But it cracked me up. You just called it like it is. You're like, yeah, they're not. They're embarrassed, is what there is. Okay, it's true. I agree. Freda has a question. After he is gone, the orange one, will it take to mostly rid our country of these MAGAs? Well, I think this is exactly what he was just saying.
It's like the balance of their power starts to diminish, but I see a lot of turmoil in the Republican Party for a couple of years.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it basically it's either going to fall apart and have a new name, or else it's going to fall apart and then kind of have to be rebuilt. Right. This is just the beginning, you guys. This is nothing. What you're going to even see in the next 6 months is not going to be the end of it. I feel like this could take even till next year for the Republican Party itself to literally implode.
Yeah, it's going to continue to escalate. I agree.
It's going to continue to escalate and get deeper and go deeper and deeper and deep. It's like whatever this truth energy is, it's not going to stop. It's going to just continue going until it gets to the bottom of whatever it is. And again, it's not about Republicans. It's about anybody.
Yeah. It almost feels like, to me, we know how much the MAGAs love the Democrats and the liberals, but it almost feels like, to me, like they get to a point where they actually dislike the rhinos or the more moderate Republicans more than the Democrats. Like, it's like that's their new target. It's going to be very divisive in their party.
Right. And that's what's going to tear them apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out people are commenting that they just dropped the documents, the Jeffrey
Oh,
Epstein documents. And what I want to be clear about, because I could have this very wrong, I was under the understanding that these are court documents,
mm,
where people had given testimony or had been interviewed or whatever. Um, but I don't know that they've been convicted. Is that what's going on here? Because
I think a lot of it isn't necessarily charges against the people that are part of this, but right, it's people that were on his plane or people that
right,
witnessed somebody around there but didn't witness an actual
right,
crime, that kind
right.
of thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't
I
think
could be
it's
wrong with that, but I did feel like there was a bit of shock and awe. I don't know if it's from us, but I see it kind of blowing up into a big story, and we're going to be hearing about it probably for the next several months.
So it's just names, no charges or
Yeah.
offenses. I mean, that's pretty. Is that even reasonable? Because so we and listen, we were just talking about this, Kevin and I, before we went live. Bill Clinton was on that plane, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people were on that plane. A lot of people were on that plane. What did they do? Did they go sit by the pool and drink a drink, or did they do something? We don't know that. We can't, I don't think we can vilify and say these people are criminals based on getting on the plane. Maybe
Yeah.
this is the first piece of evidence, and maybe there'll be more pieces of evidence. Like I just said, this truth energy is looking for the truth. So, I
Yeah, I
mean, it is,
agree,
it can
Susan.
be guilt by association, absolutely, but um,
I see it ending some people's careers is what I see, but if you count it as like legal action, I maybe a couple people it will kind of turn into that, but um, it's more like the end of people's reputation. Yeah, people are saying Trump was named in that too.
Trump was, and I know Clinton was. I know
Yeah,
Bill Clinton
Clinton
was
was.
on there. But I think there's some people that are going to surprise you, and I don't know that they who I don't know. All I know is that they just got on the plane. That's what we know.
Yeah.
But it is a step. It is a step. It is truth. It will come out, and you're going to see people. You're going to see people come out and say, "I didn't do anything." You're going to see people stand up and say, "Yeah, I was on the plane, but I didn't do anything." You know what I mean? It's going to. I think that's going to create more mud, more
Mhm.
fodder for the celebrity, witch hunt and all of that.
Yeah, I agree, Susan.
Yeah, and I agree with what Melissa said. And I'm going to say this because I was going to do this in a video, but I will say this anyway.
Yeah.
Look to more blackmail. I see, how they have the honeypot, the Russian honeypot is the
Mhm.
woman, or the honeypot can be anything. This is what Melissa's saying here. You go to this hotel and you get offered anything, you know what I mean? Anything you want, you know what I mean? And if that's your thing, then you say yes, and then they take video of you and then they own you.
Yep,
Who was it that just
exactly.
came out and said that? One of the Republicans just said that on TV before Christmas. He said that. He
I
said
don't
these
know who, but I
Republicans,
remember what you're talking about.
what was his name? The guy from Tennessee. Um, he just said this on TV. He said Republicans have been caught, and now, and so, but I'm telling you guys, this is going to break open and you're going to see Joe Blow go to Vegas, have too much fun. He's going to get back and he's going to get an email from somebody who says, I've got video of you. And I'm
Mm,
about to send it to your employer and your wife and your kids. Now, you can wire this money to this place.
yeah.
This is getting ready to be on Joe Blow level, not
Mm,
on political level, not on celebrity level, on Joe Blow level. It's about to be huge. So I'm not judging nobody. If y'all gonna get your freak on, you need to understand you're a target. It doesn't matter if you're a nobody.
yeah, I agree. And we're gonna see more of it too, because I even see once Putin's gone in Russia, a lot of the compromising information that they had that were blackmailing some people being revealed
Yes,
too.
that'll come to light. That's
Mhm.
gonna come to light. I think I just heard Lindsey Graham. That's really gonna come to light.
Yeah,
Um, he's really, really been compromised, which is the Russian version of compromised.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's eating dinner? My God, I'm so hungry. Baked pork loin chops with onion, black-eyed peas, and green beans. Oh my God, I didn't eat black-eyed peas. Did anybody eat black-eyed peas for good year? You got to eat that for good luck. It's too late now.
Is that a Southern thing?
Black-eyed peas is money. That's your money in the South.
I've never had black-eyed peas.
Oh, in the South, you got to eat black-eyed peas whether
Yeah.
you like them or not.
I did my pork and sauerkraut, and my family always put a dime in the sauerkraut, and whoever gets the dime has good luck for the year.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
Mm-mm.
And then do fights break out over the dime?
When we were kids, we'd be mad when somebody got it.
Oh my God, I never heard that. I never heard that.
Smart way to get your kids to eat sauerkraut, even though a lot of people
That's
don't
a
like
way
it.
to get your kids to eat sauerkraut. Shoot, yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, Tim Burchett from Tennessee. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd pork, sauerkraut, and mashed potatoes. Cindy P. It's a PA thing.
Oh my God, you guys. This is crazy. It's crazy.
Mm.
Can't believe we're can you guys even believe we're still talking about all this stuff a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years later? It's crazy.
Me and you will be busy for the next several years, I have a feeling. And
Several years?
Even when the Trump train sails, I think we'll still be on YouTube because there'll be so much to talk about.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, because it is not going to be. None of this is just going to get magically wand waved and fixed. The Democrats have a lot of work to do, and in my opinion, they have a short period of time. The guide said they've got between 24 and 26 to that midterm. They've got to get an amazing amount of stuff done, because if they don't get it done by 26, those younger voters are going to be like, yeah, we gave you a chance, grandma, grandpa, you're out. You know what I mean? So they kind of are chaos agents to me. They're chaos agents. They're like, if they don't get what they want, they're going to just vote issues. They're not going to care about Democrats, Republicans.
I see it turning into more of not just Democrats and Republicans, though. It feels like there's a good alternative that's going to get a lot of younger support too, that will maybe be a little bit more middle on some issues, but really progressive, like with the green technology and that kind of stuff that gets a lot of young people excited.
And you know what do they call that when people get a payment? It has a certain name where you get, like, everybody just gets a payment, no matter who you are.
Like
you
universal
get
income.
Universal income.
Yeah, I see that.
The guides have been talking about that, and the kids want that, and some cities are playing around with that basic universal income. I think we could have that by 26 or 28. I really do.
Oh, really? I was feeling like maybe more like a decade out, or like 8 years. It feels like it's a couple cycles up for myself anyway. But I see more energy and that kind of getting bigger and bigger. It's going to have to be that kind of reality with the way that AI is growing, and they're not, it's going to take over a lot of jobs. So you're going to have to do some kind of basic income for people.
I see. To offset the AI. I see. And I think that the taxes are going to be elevated on the rich. So it's going to balance it out so that can happen. Cindy P wants to know, maybe Chris Christie is hoping for a Biden cabinet pick. He can hope all he wants. That man, he's not even Biden won't even give him a parking space at the grocery store. He
trashes Biden all the time. I mean, maybe he trashes Trump too, but no, he's
a chaos agent himself. He's just chaos wherever he goes,
The thing with him, though, is he's not likable. So
he's just not likable.
We might get some laughs when he goes after Trump, but that's about it.
Yeah, I like him when he goes after Trump because he's succinct. He can really nail them. So yeah, he's corrupt. I agree. Hoping ain't getting, Wiki. I love that. Hoping ain't getting. That's very, very good. Very cool. So yes, what is this question? I will answer this. I talked about this last year for my 2023 prediction. I didn't even know about med beds, and the guides were talking about med beds. I'm not sure about the DNA.
I haven't heard of med beds. You have
I
to
have heard of
fill
med
me
beds
in.
for sure. I have not heard of the DNA to reprogram the body. I
I
don't
think we're
know
a
about
while
that
out
part.
before that happens.
What's that, dear?
I think we're a while out before we're
I do
reprogrammed with
too.
DNA.
I see the med beds and I see it using the guides are saying radio frequency and color. So there will be
Interesting.
color therapy, but there's going to be radio frequency that's going to recalibrate our frequency. Now, if that affects our DNA, I don't know. But what the
Mhm.
guides are saying, it's a radio frequency thing, and it's like a tube. It's a not just a med bed, it's like a whole tube, a capsule, they're calling it, that you would go into. I still think that is still 24 to 36 months out. I think that's still 2 to 3 years out. Of course, they always do this on the military first.
Mm. It's so interesting that you say that because I was getting a hit for 2024 about a lot of wonderful healthcare advances.
Yeah.
I think some cures for cancer, and I think they're really getting close to curing Alzheimer's too. But then my guide said something about sound frequency healing, and I feel like that might be used for cancer, but also um, I don't know if it's reprogramming DNA, um, but it's kind of shifting it. But I do see like more sound frequency being used in our healthcare in 2024 too.
So you're saying it's available now. I'm just telling you I don't your question was does it work? I'm getting it's not efficacy. It's not really doing what it says that it does.
Mm,
The frequency, whether it's sound or vibrational frequency, the guides are saying that's where it's at. So if anybody is thinking about that or looking into that, that feels more efficacious to me.
yeah. There was something about the question that didn't resonate quite strongly with me. Um, Not saying that that's not a thing now, but I think with the reprogramming of DNA, it didn't feel like it quite did that.
Right. It's the DNA. I mean, the guides are saying DNA is can be repaired or
Mm,
impacted, but like to replace it, it's that would not be something. They're
yeah.
just saying that's not something we'd want to do.
Mm,
But but I think Kevin's right, and I think astrologically speaking, this is the time of medical breakthroughs. So I think this 2024 is going to be a big medical year, and I also
yeah.
think that doctors are going to walk out. I mean, stuff is going down with that poor woman in Ohio that had the
Mm,
abortion, and now they're locking her up. She didn't have an abortion; she had a miscarriage, a
yeah.
freaking natural miscarriage. Nothing she could do about it, and now they've locked her up. Look, doctors are unionizing. They are going. That's what's going to be chaotic. It might be hard to get a knee replacement. It might be hard to get medical care because doctors are going to be like, forget it. I'm not doing this. I took the Hippocratic oath. I'm not doing this. So I think 2024 will have breakthroughs, but at the same time, we're going to have that's exactly how I see the whole year. We have something good, we have something bad. We have something good,
Mm,
we have something bad. It's like we're not going to be on this magic like woo.
yeah.
It's like a frenetic up down up down.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. It's going to be a bit draining in that aspect, I
it's going to
think.
be a bit draining in that when you get something really good happens and then something kind of sets you back. That's
Mm.
why what we talked about earlier about grounding
Focusing on
yourself
the good
and
stuff too.
really, really, really grounding yourself and getting good with yourself is going to help.
Mm. But I'll just say with the thing that happened in Texas and Ohio, and I see that continuing to be brought to the surface in 2024 about I actually feel like a woman's going to pass away because of these
I do too.
crazy radical abortion laws, and it's going to just continue. It's going to be what takes the Republican Party down come November
Yeah,
of next year.
that's right. That's
It's sad
exactly
we
right.
have to women have to deal with that, and like I said, somebody probably passing away, but it's going to outrage people.
Yeah, I agree. I was really worried it was going to be that one woman that was in Texas that she ended up going to another state to have the abortion.
Hmm.
Um, I really thought it was going to be her, but she
I
got
think it's
out at the
somebody else.
last minute.
It feels like it might be somebody from Texas, though. So maybe that's what you were picking on. But I do for the woman in Ohio, I feel like outrage about it. I didn't know that she was already in jail, but I feel her getting out and appealing that and getting
Yeah.
out of any prison.
And it was a nurse that turned her in. It's like,
Mm,
you just want to,
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. So that's the kind of crazy, okay? That again, that's the energy we're going into. And that's why we need all of us people that do this work, but also everybody that's just going through this. Please take really good care of yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting. So they're using, you work in a pharmacy, Elizabeth says, and they're already using patients' DNA incorporated into certain medications to treat prostate cancer.
Oh,
So they're
interesting.
using a patient's DNA. That makes sense to me. But to replace your DNA with somebody else's DNA, if that's what
It's
that was,
preparing
no,
is what I think
that
he
part
meant to
wasn't
do.
making sense. Okay, you don't think she's in jail. Good. I'm glad. Wiki, I don't think so, because now the law, this is the problem. The doctors are like, what, how do we even be a doctor or a nurse without going to jail ourselves?
Yeah.
Right. We've pledged an oath to the Hippocratic Oath, and then there's HIPAA laws. I don't know. This really, the Supreme Court needs to get involved and just say, it's like all the kids are arguing and fighting. The parent has to step in and say, this is the law of the land. Unfortunately.
Someone said that the DA is considering charging her, because I didn't feel like she was going to be in prison. I felt like they might try something, but it's going to create backlash, and it wasn't going to. I didn't feel.
I heard that the law enforcement came to her house. So that I guess they didn't arrest her. I don't know. But it's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
my God, this is horrendous. Frankly, it's horrendous.
Absolutely, Susan.
Any other questions, you guys? Well, let's see. We've been going on for about an hour. Maybe we'll go on for a few more minutes.
Sounds good.
Let's see.
Carmen says Trump looked ill at his New Year's party. What are your guys'? We already kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. I don't feel like he's well.
He's not well. No, he's not well.
And he's got some dementia too. I've been saying it even when he was president.
He's got dementia. We talked about this, and in our story, we stick to it. We've seen the same thing for over a year now. Trump is going to be out of commission. I don't even see him being alive by the second trial. I don't think we get a lot of trials out of him. I don't think we get a lot of justice out of him. I think he's passed over or incompetent just before the first trial or during the first trial.
Yeah. I agree, Susan. Do you mind if I pull the last question or two?
Yeah, please, go right ahead. Yeah.
I'm just in the chat right now. Do you feel Florida turning blue in November? I'm feeling Florida, it's a bit hard for another cycle.
Yeah.
I know others have said that they saw Florida turning blue, and I hope that they're right. I do feel like Rick Scott's Senate seat, I don't know if he's going to win or lose, but I feel like that's going to be competitive. But overall, Florida seems like it's still leaning red, but I do see Texas turning purple. So
really, you see Texas before Florida going? You see Texas going purple before Florida going purple? Yeah.
It feels like Florida's like another 2-4 years before it's purple again. But that Senate seat is going to be really competitive.
I agree with the Senate seat. The Senate seat's going to be competitive. The guides are showing me, instead of purple, I'm seeing like Pepto-Bismol pink. So you know what I mean? It's not MAGA red. You know what I mean? It's Pepto-Bismol pink. So, and that just says everything you need to know right there about how. And I'm sorry, Floridians, I love your state. You don't deserve this.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Florida for a little bit. It's interesting though, and we can't really get into it a whole lot because of rules on YouTube. But I'll just say I don't think Florida's as red as what maybe some past elections have indicated. Like DeSantis winning by 20 points. I don't think that Florida's that clean red. I'll just say that. There's we know that they like to make it hard to vote, and they do some stuff. Florida and Texas specifically, but I almost feel like Texas isn't going to be able to manipulate things like they have in the past. Where Florida, it feels like it's so
Really?
replacy.
Well, that would be a pretty big sea change for Texas. I'll take it. Let's put it that way. I will take it. And that's what we're going to be seeing is just these unpredictable Uranian, this kind of like, the way the guides describe it to me, and it's a little bit disconcerting when you're at a play and the set ends, the thing ends, and everything goes to black, and it's pitch black. You can't see anything. And then when the lights come on again, a whole new scene is there. A whole new scene. The players have changed. The scene has changed. That's what we're going to see in 24. Boom, something new. Boom, something new. And speaking of which, apparently, thank you, Scully, an earthquake in California in the middle between San Francisco and LA, according to Linda G. And I know there was an earthquake in Japan. And did somebody also say there was an earthquake in Hawaii just a minute ago? This is the sudden. This is what I'm talking about. It's this very lightning strike, sudden energies that could not only be earthquake, but could also be sudden passings of people in the public eye. 1 minute they're here, the next minute they're gone.
It's so interesting that you say that because I already have that stuff written down. My guide showed me a vision on 2024. They showed me like an eclipse, and we have a powerful solar eclipse coming up in I think April, where you see like the ring of fire around it, and there was just like fire kind of coming off the eclipse, and I felt like that was solar flares, a lot of solar flare activity, and then it materialized in the middle of where the moon is in the Pacific Ocean, so like the ring of fire.
I was just
going to say ring of fire. I feel like there's going to be earthquakes, volcanoes. I even feel like maybe a wave or two in 2024.
Meaning a tsunami. Yeah, I agree.
And just kind of tapping in, I know we've had years with lots of fires and wind, and we're going to still have that, but 2024, I'm seeing a lot of water.
Lots of water. Like tsunami, that kind of energy, potentially hurricanes. So I hope everybody's okay in California. I'm here, so I'm not watching the news.
I do feel California having like
a big shaker.
I feel a decent sized one, like
a big shaker. 6, I just heard 7. A big shaker. Yep.
I don't feel like it's an 8 or 9, but
no,
it's going to be. The thing about California, though, is they really have a lot of infrastructure for that, for earthquakes. So while it does cause some damage, I don't see it being like when you see on the news and whole villages are all destroyed and all of that. I don't see it being quite that bad. But yeah, California's got the West Coast has some earthquakes, I feel.
Yeah. Crazy weather, guys. I would just say the same thing I said to you last year. If you're used to having a certain kind of weather and you get a warning for a certain kind of weather and you're used to it being a certain thing and you don't take it seriously, I need you to take it seriously. I need you to pretend like, even though they say, oh, a light snowfall, I want you to just pretend like you're going to the mall and you may not be able to get home. I want you to pack your car with stuff that you need to weather an emergency, because that's the kind of weather. It's not predictable. It's not predictable.
I agree, Susan. And it's not, I don't like giving these predictions with the weather or destruction because I know it scares a lot of people, and that's really not why we're doing it. It's really to bring that awareness so that you can be prepared. And then also follow your intuition too, because if something doesn't feel quite right, maybe it's time to take a trip for a week and something just resonates with like, okay, maybe getting out of California for a week. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I'm just saying, with all of the Earth activities, we have to adapt to it. We have to make sure that we're prepared, and it's so unpredictable. It's happening everywhere. You know, like somebody just said, New York City having a small earthquake. Like last year, I live in Ohio. We had like a 4 point, I think it was like a 4.5 near me. And we get
Wow.
earthquakes on occasions, but
Not like that. Yeah.
we're
So
not known for
be
earthquakes.
prepared.
Yeah.
Instead of being worried, be prepared. Learn what you would do. Have a plan. Talk to your family. Be prepared. And Danny Shea is in the house. Hey, Danny. And he says,
Hey,
2
Danny.
earthquakes near me, near the nuclear plant, Central Coast of California, small ones. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Glad that they were small. Glad that everybody's okay. Yeah, hit the thumbs up.
Real quick, Susan, I know that we've been on for a little bit. The weather this winter feels really weird. Like I feel like the South
Really
is
weird.
going
That's why I'm
over,
talking
right?
about it.
Like you in Texas, I feel like it's going to be cold, and I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like there's some infrastructure issues again. But
Yep.
it feels like it's warmer up in the north. I mean, Christmas Day, it was, I think, 60 degrees here in Ohio. It's so weird.
Flip it, and it's been colder here than normal. So yeah, everything is kind of flipped. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And so you know what? And I don't we don't need to talk about this, but I'm going to throw it out there. The
yeah.
guys were telling me last about 2 or 3 weeks ago that the poles were going to swap. Now this is a big conspiracy theory. I'm not telling you the poles are going to swap. I don't think the actual polar axis is going to swap. But what I learned was the poles under the earth are kind of the magnetics is changing.
Hmm.
So that I think that's affecting our weather. I think these
Yeah.
solar flares are affecting our weather. I think the
Global
pollution,
warming.
climate change, I think all of these things is creating their ingredients for new
Mhm.
weather patterns that we don't know about, that we've never experienced.
Yeah. I don't know if it feels like it's a total reversal, but it feels like they're kind of shifting, um, is what I feel. And I think that there's science behind that, where like the North Pole is, it's kind of coming down a little bit throughout the years. The magnetic poles,
The
maybe.
magnetic poles. And the thing to do is just to have a plan, guys. Have a plan. And take it serious. Again, take it seriously. If they're just calling for a snow, fall of an inch, it's not gonna be a big deal to just be a little bit more aware or to be
Mm,
more prepared.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is kind of changing directions.
Mm.
Edgar Casey said the poles would shift. Yeah. Yep.
But I don't see it being a disastrous thing like
I don't see it either.
the movies where like it's like the end of the world. I don't see it being like that.
I don't see
It
that
just
either.
feels like a lot of the earth activity, a lot of the storms getting stronger, and there's devastation with it, but I don't feel like it's like the whole, life as we know it's over. I'm not thinking
No,
it
I
is
don't
like
see
that.
that either. And I guess follow Wiki's advice, don't sleep naked. So like growing up in Tornado, and I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, which is not Tornado Alley, but I happened to be when I was younger, I experienced like a record tornado. So now when it's gonna storm, girl, I don't even not do I not sleep naked. I put a bra on. I'm like, I'm not gonna be in front of them TV stations without no bra on. I'm like, I'm gonna have clothes on. I'm gonna be looking like I'm put together. So if
That's
it's storming,
hilarious.
I'm like, I'm gonna get out of bed looking like I'm ready to go on TV.
Yes, we got to be prepared, right?
That's PTSD for you guys. That is PTSD right there. It's too cold to sleep naked. Yeah, well, that's true too. Get a
Yeah,
dog, a cat, get something.
absolutely.
Yes. Grab your sheet and toga your way out of there, Mickey Walk says. There you go. Just make it look good if you're on TV, put it into a toga.
Oh,
Back to you can put your bra on, Danny. Y'all can put your bras on. I don't care. I'm just saying, look good when you're on TV. Don't look all crazy. You know how that
Danny's gonna be prepared with his bathrobe.
Yeah, he's gonna have you have your bathrobe. You don't have to worry about
He's
that.
good.
And that's not a bad idea. Just sleep in the bathrobe, you know. I'd be like burning up hot if I slept in a bathrobe. That is not going to
Yeah.
work for me. Yeah, see, here's another one. She's like, she's gonna be looking good. She's gonna have her bra on. She's gonna be like, so it's funny, you know what I mean? If it's gonna storm, I'm not wearing, you know, I'm not gonna be going to bed with some raggedy old PJs on. I'm gonna be looking good.
Mm. You can put a couple calming crystals in your bra and you're all good.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly a couple of calming crystals. That's hilarious. Oh my God, that is awesome. Oh my God. You guys are awesome. Yeah, that's just asking to be interviewed. Well, that's true. That is true. Yes. All right, everybody. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's so good to see everybody in 2024. We're going to do this thing. We're going to do this thing.
Yeah.
We're going to make it. We're going to put Trump out of business. He's going to be, you know, relegated to some sort of, you know, whatever it is. I see him either in Gitmo, you know, in like a padded, very secure place with no connection to the outside world.
Yeah.
Zero, no connection, no cell phone, no TV. You know, he's going to have a window that's not even going to be real. And that, you know, that just for to be mean, they're going to put a picture of McDonald's up. So it's going to look like McDonald's is right out the window, but he ain't going to be able to get there.
Grimace
and that's if he survives.
in his hand.
With a burger in his hand. They could put a TV screen just looping with people eating McDonald's in front of him. I mean, let's just, you know, would that be cruel and unusual punishment? I don't know.
You know, I'll just say, though, I feel like I've seen that before, like him being in a white room. But for me, it feels like the energy shifted more likely to health taking him out beforehand.
Crossing over. Yeah.
Mhm.
He doesn't have the courage to survive this. I think, but one of those two things, he's either going to be in this locked up place or he's going to be gone. And then the Republican Party is going to be in mayhem. We don't even know who's going to be on the ballot. It might be a write-in ballot. It's going to be chaos, you guys. Absolutely complete and total chaos. And that is what I've been seeing for a year now. And I know independently of me, other readers are seeing the same thing. So that should give you guys a lot of hope and make you feel better about things.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Susan. I always enjoy our shows and getting together with you and everyone. It's always so much fun. I'll just say before we end, if you don't mind, do me a huge favor. Please go over to my channel, Kevin's Loving Vibration. Please subscribe. And if you'd like a reading, a Reiki session, or a combination of both, I don't have a website yet, but you can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. I have all of that information on my YouTube page. We can definitely get something set up for you.
And he's a great energy healer, you guys. This guy's very powerful, but he's also a great, as you see, he's a great psychic. So you can get all of those types of readings from him. And we'll be back. Don't worry. We are not going anywhere.
We already have another show planned later on this month on Deanne's channel, Deanne Shield Maiden. So you'll see us again in January.
That's right. That's right. That is absolutely right. And yeah, check out his channel, subscribe. You're going to want to get all this information that's coming out. And you're going to want accurate information. So thanks, guys, so much for hanging out with us tonight. Yeah. You guys take really, really good care of yourselves. And we'll see you really soon. Okay, everybody?
Bye, everyone.
Bye, you guys.